Yeah, first of all, just really grateful for our fans. That was most people that we've had in an open practice. Great crowd, great energy. It was great to see everyone come out on a Thursday night in July to see some Marquette basketball. Obviously a lopsided game. We've been playing all week, and Ben had to leave this morning to go play with his national team, so that affected that white team a little bit. Yeah, Chase and Shawn teaming up on the blue team ended up being pretty overwhelming. But this actually concludes our 8 weeks of summer workouts. Guys will be around another week, finishing up with Todd with workouts, and then head home for a well-deserved break. It's been a really good summer from the standpoint of competitiveness, growth. The guys have, really spent a ton of time together with each other. This is a team that, particularly with the guys that we've graduated the last couple of years and the personalities that we've lost, definitely, in the spring needed some new personalities to emerge and some new leaders. And we've seen that this summer, and we'll obviously continue to see that and need that. Really excited about the way our freshmen are coming along. NJ got a little banged up, so he wasn't able to play much tonight. But he's been terrific all summer long. Really been playing with great speed. Adrian Stevens had a really good summer as well. He actually led our team with the win he had tonight. Led our team in wins for the whole summer, which is pretty impressive. We keep track of wins for every drill. Him and Caden were neck and neck coming into tonight, and so he came out with the lead. Michael Phillips, Ian Militic, those guys have all had really good moments this summer. They've got a lot that they're learning. It's coming at them fast. At times get overwhelmed. But all four of those guys have made major strides, and we're super excited about them. And obviously with the addition of Sheik to this class, it's got a chance to be a special group. For us, in terms of our biggest advantages and what we've learned about our team speed, having Shawn back and having NJ out there, having Chase out there, those three guys have been terrific pushing the ball down the floor. The depth that we can have on this year's team, we've got a lot of guys that can go in the game and contribute for us. And then I think the versatility is something that can be a real advantage for us. At the same time, losing Cam, losing Stevie, losing Jop, those guys were real anchors for us in terms of stability and sturdiness. So we got a lot of growing to do as people, as competitors. Thought the blue team did a great job tonight, as we say, stepping on their throats. The white team did not do as good a job of responding as we need to do. But these are all learning lessons, and excited to be out here on a Thursday night in July in front of so many fans.
You mentioned having Shawn back. Just kind of for you, what is it like to see the journey he made and to now actually be back out there on the court?
Shawn's been terrific. His leadership has been awesome. The way that he's helped the guys around him while he was recovering himself from a serious injury. Last year, at times, it felt, just strange that he was actually the best leader, but he wasn't playing and is, under nobody's control. But it was something that, I thought a lot about last year in those huddles where he had the best voice, he had the loudest voice, but he wasn't quite ready to come back. And now having him back, it's terrific. I thought he did a lot of great things tonight. We've done a lot of work together, watching tape, point guard with him and Nigel James. So we'll break this tape down tonight. He's so excited to be out there and playing, and there'll be a real process of him getting reacclimated to what we do.
Adrian was getting into ball handlers, getting deflections. Yep. What do you like about his defensive mentality?
He's got some Stevie Mitchell in him as a defender. I'm not saying he's the exact same, but he's got some real toughness and physicality and a great body for a freshman. He can get his hands on the ball. He also led our team this summer in deflections. He's really done a great job, particularly been the second half of the summer, buying into things that are advantages for him that he can press on a daily basis. Heat on the ball, physicality on the ball, getting his hands on the basketball, and being someone that, even though he's a freshman, uses his body to his advantage.
You mentioned the versatility that you see as an advantage this year. Do you think that all the different pieces, like some of the parts, is going to be a big factor in terms of people stepping up? No one knows necessarily who to guard like they did last year.
Well, we'll definitely, I think, be a more balanced team offensively. Everything was so dependent on Cam last year, and then Job being the next guy. People knew that. Like any other team, we'll have guys that you saw Chase shoot it well tonight. We'll have guys that step up and lead us in scoring. But at the same time, I think we'll have more versatility, and I think we'll need to score more by committee. I don't see a Cam Jones necessarily out there from a scoring standpoint, and that's good. I think the best teams that I've been around have been like that. We still have a lot to figure out in terms of our rotation, our starting lineup. You will see more variability and more change than we've seen the last few years. I think we only started like 8 guys in the last 3 years. And 2 of those guys are still here in Chase and Ben. But other than that, you're going to see a lot of new guys start. But you'll also see some different lineups. You saw Josh Clark do some really good things tonight. He's been really promising this summer. Caden Hamilton's had a really good summer. Zayd Lowry wasn't great tonight, but he's had a very, very good summer. He's been one of our top 4 or 5 guys this summer. So the growth these guys are making is impressive. We got 95 days into our first game, so we'll have to really sort out who fits in where.
In terms of turnout, we've talked over the last 4 years. It seems like there's always, hey, this is a Marquette record at Fiserv Forum. This is a new attendance record. It's a Thursday night in July, like you mentioned. It's also the opening night of State Fair. People have options to go do things. Are you ever surprised at the response at this point?
Our fans are so special. I mean, they care about our guys. They care about our team. They're excited about seeing the new guys. They're excited about seeing Shawn come back. And so when I walked in the gym, I was curious because we had a good group of fans last year, and then I looked up and there were significantly more this year. It just says something about how they feel about our team and our guys. And we feel the same way about them. I've always said that in the best programs, there's a real reciprocal relationship of giving energy to each other, and it means so much for them to come out and support us tonight. We feel very connected to our fans. As you mentioned, we've broken some records attendance-wise in the past few years. We want to continue to do that, and we don't take our fans for granted. We've got 17 games in Fiserv Forum. Every one of those games really matters from a fan standpoint and an energy standpoint. We're able to play 3 games in the city of Chicago, not too far away. I posed a little bit of a challenge the other night. We were at an event in Chicago, and I said, let's see how many people can go to all 20 of those games. That's really setting the bar high. But we love our fans and grateful for everyone that came tonight.
What's your timeline for Sheik Pearson arriving on campus? Did he sign his letter of intent? When is that?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
He'll get here at the start of orientation, freshman orientation, much like Caden did a couple of years ago, and he'll go fall semester. He'll start the fall semester. The plan is to redshirt Sheik. Super excited about him. He's an awesome young man, really, really talented young man, cerebral. Reminds me a lot of a couple bigs that I've coached in the past, and he's got a bright future.
Did you see him in the Peach Jam or in those?
You bet we did.
Those games, what did you think?
I thought he was great. He did a great job leadership-wise. Their team was actually down a couple guys. They won the Peach Jam last year, and they just had a dominant group from the standpoint of talent and connectivity and overwhelming people. Well, coming into this year, they lost one of their top guys, and then another one of their top guys was hurt. And their group, and including Sheik, they came together and they played so well as a team. So we're getting a real winner. It is hard to win that tournament twice. We're getting a guy that really cares about team, and we're getting a guy who's got a bright, bright future. We're excited about it.
What do you like about big guys coming in a year early and getting that redshirt year? What do you like most about that?
Well, the redshirt development is huge. I mean, regardless of the position, but particularly at that spot because of the physical challenge. I mean, you come into this league and deal with some of the aircraft carriers that the Big East presents. I think that if you look at the recent redshirts we've had, they've had very, very successful, productive redshirt seasons from the standpoint of their bodies. And then, Caden came off of that year and, contributed to some extent last year. I think his first year plan was a little harder than even he thought or any of us thought. But as you saw tonight, his body looks even better. And now going into his third year, his second year where he's eligible to play, he's going to contribute even more. You know, Josh Clark has gained over 20 pounds, so the year's been really good for him, and I think, you know, this next year will be great for Sheik as well.
Caden was showing off that lefty hook. Like, what else has stood out about his development?
Yeah, you have to ask him next time you talk to him about his hooks challenge. You know, I challenged him to make 10,000 hooks over the course of the off season, and he's really attacking that. He's really worked. He's doing a Versa Climber program with our other big guards, we call them, the forwards, that they call themselves the BGs. All four of those guys have been really getting at it on the Versa Climber, which is very, very challenging. There's a program that goes 15 weeks that they're smack dab in the middle of. Just attacking, improving his body, and improving, as we like to say, updating his relationship with fear, heart, and mistakes. Some of that stuff got the better of him tonight a little bit, being on the losing end. But overall this summer, I mean, he's made major, major gains. I don't know if you caught it, but he and we have a nice love, combative relationship. That's just because we love each other so much, and I know how good he can be.
Shawn said he feels he grew the most in his leadership. When you look at guys
Yep.
like him and Chase and Ben, I know I wasn't here tonight, but when you see these people step up like the senior class, just how important is that? How valuable is that to have like these players?
Well, that's our way. I mean, the way we do things, it's critical. You know, again, you know, I said this a couple of years ago when they were here, just anticipating, you know, when they wouldn't be here anymore. You know, we had some real titans leading our program for the last few years, and Tyler Kolick, Oso Iguodaro, Stevie Mitchell, Cam Jones. I mean, these are guys that, you know, just the character of these guys is through the roof. And so as they move on, you need guys to step forward and be grown men from a leadership standpoint. I thought Shawn did a great job of that last year, but he just wasn't out there playing. And so now, you know, with him, you know, being back out there playing, it's going to be huge. He and Chase have an authenticity about them that is very, very special, and it's an attractor energy for their teammates and their coaches. Now, as they move up in their role, there's going to be more demanded of them, and there's going to be, you know, stressful situations for them. Those guys are going to have to, and I'm going to help them with this, just be comfortable within their own skin, knowing that they're not going to be perfect, but continuing to lead.